So dear students, today we are going to start a new chapter, Money and Credit of Economics, chapter 3. So first of all, money as a medium of exchange. You know students, every day we do lot of transactions in the market and where we use money for exchange. Not only goods, even services are also exchanged for money. Can you do transactions without money these days? Yes, it may be plastic money or some other kind of money, but can you do without exchange, without use of money? No. Money is a must. Okay, so whenever you need to exchange any commodity with anybody, you need to have money in your pocket. Sometimes you may make a promise to pay later, that may be due to some the shopkeeper is known to you, or if you have an account with the shopkeeper and you have been a very old customer of that fellow, so you can pay later also. But the question is, do you wonder or have you ever wondered why transactions are made in money? The reason is very simple, because a person who is having money in his pocket can do exchange or can purchase any commodity or services anywhere, anytime, because everyone prefers to receive payments in money, and that money can be used for exchanging goods of their own choice. Take the case of a shoe manufacturer. If a shoe manufacturer wants to sell his shoes in the market and buy wheat, the shoe manufacturer will first exchange shoes that he has produced for money and then exchange the money for wheat. But imagine how much more difficult it would be if the shoe manufacturer had to directly exchange shoes for wheat without use of money. Here is wheat producer. Okay, so you think, or you just imagine, if he is asked to exchange his shoes with the wheat producer, and tragedy is this wheat producer is not willing to purchase the shoes, can they do exchange? No way. They can make exchange of goods with each other only when they are ready to purchase each other's commodity. Means the shoe manufacturer is ready to purchase wheat of the wheat producer, and wheat producer is ready to purchase the shoes of the shoe manufacturer. Then only there can be exchange of commodities, and this is called double coincidence of wants. Double coincidence of wants means what a person desires to sell is exactly what the other wishes to buy. So this is called barter system. Okay, so in barter system, both the persons should be ready to purchase each other's commodity. In your book, some more example is given over here. There is some third fellow, who is a porter or port manufacturer. He said that I am ready to purchase the shoes, but I do not have cloth. मेरे पास कपड़ा नहीं है. So they cannot exchange goods with each other. So this problem can be solved only with the help of money. Okay. So in contrast, in an economy where money is in use, money by providing the crucial intermediate step eliminates the need for double coincidence of wants. Means if money is introduced in this economy, the shoe manufacturer the pork manufacturer or the wheat manufacturer, they all will sell their product for money, and with the help of that money they can purchase the goods or commodities of their choice or need. Okay, so undoubtedly if money is introduced, now the shoe manufacturer is not required to talk to the wheat producer for selling him wheat. Rather, he simply first look for a purchaser who wants to purchase his shoes, exchange shoes with the money, and by paying that money to the wheat producer, he can purchase wheat. Okay, so since money acts as a medium of or intermediate in the exchange of process or in the exchange process, that is rightly called medium of exchange. Okay, now next topic is modern forms of money. Modern forms of money. We have seen that money is something that can act as a medium of exchange in transactions. And before the introduction of coins, a variety of objects was used as money. For example, since the very early times in our country or in the world, people, especially in India, Indian used to use grains and cattle as money. Means they used to exchange goods with the help of food grains as well as the cattle. It could be cattle, or you can say it could be a cow or buffalo or the goat, whatever it could be, or some other any domestic animal. And thereafter came the use of metallic coins, gold, silver, copper coins, and it is a phrase which continued well into the last century. Here one thing you must remember, students, that use of cattle and use of food grains had its own limitations, because we could not exchange everything with the help of these commodities. For example, if a person wants to purchase a pot, or if a person wants to purchase some cloth and he is having a cow, so the value of both the commodities are different. The value of cloth or value of pot is very less. The value of cow or any other animal is very high. So here exchange cannot be done. A person cannot give cow for the for one pot or for some cloth. Undoubtedly not, because the values of the things are different. That gave birth to the invention of, or to the use of some other medium of exchange, that is money. So people started using metallic coins as money, and these metals had some very beautiful thing in them. That was the cost of manufacturing of the coin and its value in the market were the same, almost the same. Means if a coin was of 10 grams or 12 grams, if it had a value of 100 rupees, its cost of production was also the same. Means सोना जितना उसमें लगेगा उसकी जितनी कीमत होगी उतनी ही सिक्के की कीमत होगी. So there was no chance of duplicate currency at that time, because its cost and value were the same. Okay, some examples are shown in the book to you. Early punch marked coins, maybe 2500 years old, Gupta coins, Tughlaq coins, gold mohr from Akbar's reign, or modern coins as we use these days. So these are shown in the book. You can go through. Now the question arises, currency. So modern forms of money include currency, that is paper notes and coins. Unlike the things that were used as money earlier, modern currency is not made of precious metals such as gold, silver and copper, and unlike grain and cattle, they are neither of everyday use. So modern day currency is not made up of precious metals. At the same time, they are not like grain and cattle. Or you can say that in nutshell, the modern currency is without any use of its own. Means we cannot use modern currency for anything. Yes, we can purchase the things with the help of the currency, but currency itself have no use. As earlier, the grains had its own use. If you wanted to use grain for exchange, you could do it. Otherwise, if you wanted to have a chapati of grain, you could do it easily. If you had cattle, if you wanted to exchange it with something, there is no problem. But if you did not want to exchange it with something, rather you wanted to use it for your own purpose, you could have milk of the cow. So modern day currency have no use of its own. Then the question arises, if it is of no use, then why is it used as a medium of exchange? Why do people get ready to give their commodities for money then? This is the question. It is accepted as a medium of exchange because the currency is authorized by the government of the country. किसी भी देश की सरकार अथोराइज करती है कि किस तरह की करेंसी प्रिंट की जाए या बनाई जाए. इन इंडिया दिस इज जॉब ऑफ RBI, दैट इज रिजर्व बैंक ऑफ इंडिया, and this Reserve Bank of India issues currency notes on behalf of the central government. Okay, and as per the Indian law, no other individual, please keep in mind, no other individual or company is allowed to print the currency notes. कोई भी अकेला आदमी या कोई भी कंपनी, किसी भी तरीके की कंपनी और ऑर्गेनाइजेशन हो, वो करेंसी नोट नहीं छाप सकती. एंड मोरओवर द लॉ लीगलाइजेज द यूज ऑफ रुपी एज अ मीडियम ऑफ पेमेंट दैट कैन नॉट बी रिफ्यूज्ड in settling transactions in India. Nobody can deny, nobody can say no to accept money or rupees as a medium of exchange. So rupee is widely accepted as a medium of exchange. Okay, next topic is deposit with banks. It will be discussed in the next video. Till then, good day.